preschool director at Temple Beth Shalom for 7 years, and I retired 2 years ago. When I was hired at Temple Beth Shalom, they had elected to close the center. Then I was hired, and we took the summer to then reopen. They were in financial trouble. They it was a little bit out of control. And we opened that year with 19 kids. I had holes in my knees begging people to come, but we opened with 19, and we ended that year with 40. So that was really, and I really owe that to a great staff and a supportive board and all of that. So I was there for 7 years, and when Greg, was telling me about the preschool and the after-school care, I came down to take a. I had never been to Silverado, I'm ashamed to say. I live in Tustin. It's an easy drive, but it's beautiful here. It's really beautiful. And what strikes me about the Children's Center is it has such character, and it's in such a beautiful, beautiful setting. And as I was sharing with someone tonight, part of my focus at Temple Beth Shalom was moving towards a nature kind of feeling there, and we became the first, quote, nature explore classroom in Orange County. And I know that this is down the line, but you have the setting and a beautiful canvas for it. I had told Greg about it, so I brought the notebook, and you're welcome to take a look at it. But it's, criteria that you have to meet, and you become certified. You get a little bit of publicity, which is nice for enrollment. So, and the classrooms there are really big. We have the few staff that I've met are very passionate. Been there a long time. That says a lot about the place. Has everyone been to the center? Has anybody ever, recently been to the Children's Center? Anybody not?
Yes or no?
Yes, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Yes, if you've not been there, raise your hand. It needs a lot of work. It's got the passion. It's got a great staff. It's got it's got support from the community. Volunteers that are amazing. So all the nuts and bolts are there. And what I'm hoping to do is to move it to a place where when you give a tour, parents don't even want to think about going anywhere else. And that comes from setting up a great environment and, again, having a wonderful staff. So I'm very excited. I think it's going to be fun. I welcome everyone's help. I actually had said this to Brett, but I can see that and he's been telling me what a great community Silverado is, and so I just made sort of a chart for resources that are in your community that I will not know about, and there's a space, if it's somebody that just will volunteer time, if they have a professional service that you think that they could help us with, if it's a monetary donation, something like that. So I'm just going to leave these, and so if you know of somebody and you have their contact information or not, Greg can give you my contact information, and then I'll be at the school. My goal is I will not be there full time, but I think that you guys are heading in the right direction. You clearly want a successful school, which is exactly what I want for the community. You have a staff that wants success there, and I'm very excited. So if at any time, questions, comments, feedback, I'm completely open, and hopefully we can all do this together. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, and then I'm just going to leave this with you.
No, you can leave, yeah.
Okay.
So,
And then I had just make copies of what I had sent you, just so that I had kind of put together an outline of what I thought needed to happen in a chronological way that I had sent, and I made a few copies, not knowing that we were going to have a packed room. So, did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. You said, thank you very much, by the way. You said you plan on working just part-time?
Yes.
What kind of part-time?
I'm thinking 30 hours a week.
depending on the need.
That's not
Right.
full-time.
Yeah, and as I said, you know, my goal is to do that for a period of time and then reevaluate. You know, what, you know, are you happy with the direction that the school is going? Do you know, what are your needs? Are we moving in the right direction? So, you know, my plan is like for 4 weeks to reevaluate kind of where we are.
So you're in for about 4 weeks or so, 4 months?
That's my intention for the first part. I mean, we certainly can't, you know, revamp an entire school in 4 weeks, but I think that at least you will know the direction that I'm going in and whether you're happy with that direction, and then we can go from there. Any other questions? Well, thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to getting to know your community. And hopefully this is going to be the place where you are going to want to tell everyone to send their children.
So, no, I don't get to go away yet. So, usually personnel matters for everybody to know are held in closed session and you don't get to, you know, talk about it in public. But because Lindy is asking, we're asking her to fill the director position, it's an open session. So we all get to talk about it, talk about her pay, her hours, what do we want her to do, anything different. So I don't know if I told you that. Anyway, it's public. So Lindy has sent out a proposal to us, and so she's offering to be there, really kind of be consulting while we get it together, and hopefully have somebody then. And I'm hoping that Lindy will help us with the search to fill that position with somebody permanently. So she's coming out of retirement. She's offering to work 30 hours a week, even though her husband didn't want her to. You know, starting now and going through the end of October. And her rate of pay is requested at $30 an hour, so we'd be looking at about $3,600 per month. And as you kind of heard, developing the plan, working the plan. End of the 4-week period, meet, reevaluate, decide if it's working. If it's working, hopefully she says that she likes us and we'll keep her, and we like her and we keep her. I would actually like to ask you if you consider doing 60 days initially today, because I'm going to be gone the whole month of October and I won't be able to do anything to help. So I'd feel more comfortable, because it was hard enough to find you, and if I'm gone and these guys have to do it, I don't know, and it just makes me nervous. So what do you think?
In truth, when I looked at my calendar, I have a trip planned, actually, you know, after that, for, I don't know, a week or 10 days, but then, you know, I'd be happy to, you know, come back from that, but I just didn't want to make a commitment that I knew ahead of time that I wasn't going to be able to complete. So that was where that sort of 4 weeks came in, and I do think that, you know, you need an initial period to see if, you know, as I said, I kind of put together an outline, but when you look at it, you may say, you know, those aren't the priorities, and so I felt like at least, you know, that initial period, we would get to know whether we were headed in the right direction and whether I was going in the direction that this community wanted the school to go. So, you know, I'm happy to, you know, hang out. I'm happy to, you know.
Would you consider staying for that 60 days, just taking that time off in that week or 10 days?
But yeah, can I just look? I want to be truthful with my calendar and everything with you, so can I just get back to you on that tomorrow? Would that be okay?
Yeah.
We can vote forward on that.
Right. So she wants a week off, and she's only going to be there a month.
It's retirement, you guys. Yeah.
Must be a government employee.
No, gosh. Yes, sir.
I have a question. In putting together this outline, did you do this on your own, or did you have some help doing this?
No, I put that together. I wanted, yeah, this was before, I kind of wanted to, I had been to the school, I had been there, you know, for several hours. I brought some friends with me, so we you know, we got some work done there, you know, helping with the classroom, kind of getting it ready for school. And so I needed, as we were moving forward, just for myself, I needed to sort of have a direction. I needed to think, because otherwise it's too overwhelming. And so I wanted to break it down so that we had a goal and what would come next, and kind of just, and it's very broad. It's
Well,
not,
it's pretty comprehensive. I compliment you on this. That's why I asked
Oh,
if
thank
you
you.
had some support doing it, or if you did it. No,
No.
that's pretty impressive what you did. So,
Well, thank you.
appreciate that.
So Amy got to meet, I'm sorry, Tim, go
I
ahead.
had a question. The $30 an hour compensation, is that going to be as a consultant basis or as a hourly employee?
Well, I proposed the 120 hours.
I
At
understand.
$30, yes.
But I guess my question is, are we going to take out food, suited, CUDA, workman's comp, or are you going to be a contract laborer?
Oh, that's a very good question. My assumption would be a contract person. That's an excellent question, but,
Perfect.
yeah.
Makes a difference.
Yes, it does.
Lindy got to meet with Amy, and so Amy told me afterwards, she goes, Lindy's philosophy and our philosophy of the center and the way we've run it is just like a complete match. So that was pretty comforting. And then just before school started, she called up and said, well, I'm going to bring some people over. And so I got there, and there were like her and some other preschool people she's worked with, and her daughter, and 4 other people, and some poor husband that got dragged along. So the husband and I carried stuff out, and I don't know how the dumpster, I don't know how many trips it took the trash guys to dump our dumpster. But from what I gather, I said, well, we're going to have to buy this stuff to replace it. And she goes, buy? She goes, are you nuts? And she goes, that's what Craigslist is for. She goes, I got, I go, I have a truck, just tell me where to go and what I have to pick up. So
Yeah.
she may need is, because we've already thrown some stuff out and we may need it, so if somebody's got a truck and can help her, put that on the resource list, and she may
Yes.
call you and say, go here, pick this up, please.
Yeah, that would be great. I was happy to see what kinds of equipment you do have that's already there. So they're starting from a good point. I really put this Nature Explore classroom together with Craigslist and other sort of buying seconds and what I'm an economical shopper, so. So whatever resources that are out there, please let me know, and I can follow up with it. Any other questions?
I have a question. I have another question for
I'm
Greg.
glad.
Because, after looking at the community centers, the children's centers budget, there's obviously no money in it to pay your salary.
Well, not exactly, but go on.
Well, according to the last report I got, it wasn't, but it could have changed. So if it's going to have, if her salary is going to have to be augmented by the board, do we have it in our budget to do that?
Yes, we do.
We do.
In part, Amy was paid $20 an hour, working 40 hours a week. And so the only thing we're losing is that we're not going to ask Lindy to do the fill-in teaching that Amy was doing. So that'll cost us a little bit more. And so we're going to be, hours for hours, we're about $100 different in what we've been paying Amy versus what we would pay Lindy. But we'll have a few extra teaching hours because Lindy said she wasn't really liking, didn't want to do that.
I love kids, but let me just say that when I was hired at Beth Shalom, they wanted to hire a teacher director, much like Amy was, and this was starting from nothing. But the reason that I held kind of firm on it was not because I don't love children, because I sure do, was because I didn't think that I could be effective in growing enrollment and doing tours and making the place, the way that the temple wanted the school to be. So, I think Amy did an amazing job. She was, doing here, there, everything, and and for a long time. So she was amazing. But my feeling is for me to really affect any change and to kind of move the school forward. That's why I feel like it needs to be. Not that of course I'll be in classrooms. If you asked my staff at Beth Shalom, I was in classrooms all the time. It's how you see how teachers teach. It's how you get to know children. It's all of those things. But good.
All right, thanks.
So, anything else? Oh, yeah.
So then you'll be just director and not teacher?
That's what we just said.
Okay,
yeah.
I just want to reiterate that. And so,
Having said, let me just, excuse me for interrupting you, but I just want to, I was looking at it more as a consulting basis, but, you know, and I know that, you know, you need a director on site. And because, you know, I'm not going to be there 40 hours or anything like that, that, you know, there's a lot of ways, you know, hopefully we could even get a teacher to enroll in a class, and licensing will accept that if they're enrolled simultaneously. I even double checked that before I spoke it, for sure, because, you know, things change, but, you know, there's ways to do it.
yeah, and so if I can get my point out, which I don't do well sometimes, but, okay, Amy was teacher director. And so, we need a director, I understand that, but we also need a teacher. And since you're only gonna be there for a limited part of time, and you've got your list of what you wanna initiate, then what happens when you leave and another director comes in and they have their own agenda and their own priorities, etc. So now we start over again with that, where if we know we're gonna get a permanent director down the line, why don't we just have someone who can be both director and teacher? And I don't
If
see
I
where I'm
can
going
speak
with
to
that.
that,
Okay.
Amy's employment, whatever, ran out on September 15th.
Mhm.
We have 30 days to have somebody to fill the position that Lindy's filling.
Mhm.
I've been looking since Amy told us. We had somebody, she backed out at the last second. We had another somebody, she didn't probably have, well, it turned out she didn't have the qualifications and the licensing classes, whatever. This has not been an easy process. We have another one that Shay had that walked away and said no. So, we really don't have a choice.
Well, I guess my,
Let me address what you said
Okay.
too. Lindy and Amy are on the same page doing the same thing. We like the direction the center is and the way it's going, and we aren't looking to change it, and we're not looking to change it down the road when we hire a full-time person. Because Lindy's got the experience, she's done this before, she's run a successful program, we need to make the place come together, and we need to find out, as Kim pointed out, can we afford to keep the doors open? The board's committed to keep the place open for the whole school year, and pay the difference.
okay.
If it doesn't come together in a certain amount of time, and we don't make it successful,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work. So
Okay, and
our goal is to make it successful and make it work, get the kids in, kind of do what she's already done somewhere else. Now, we have to all know that we have a way smaller drawing radius for pupils than she did, because she was right at Tustin and Fairhaven. So, you know, bigger area to draw from, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, so, and I like what I hear from you, and that is that her vision is the same as Amy's, and then the next director we have will continue in that direction. And so that was kind of my point. I didn't want to bring someone in who's going to change things and then bring someone else in, and now we're starting all over again with
Yeah, that's what
time and money.
we're
Okay.
considering as we're looking at it. We're not gonna do that.
Okay.
And let me just say, I'm not coming in to create curriculum at this point, or, you know, anything like that. It's more of a,
You're helping us out and trying to make it go, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think what we have here is, we have an immediate need we gotta fill. Otherwise, the school goes away. We found someone very qualified to do that, put together a very comprehensive organizational plan. I think what this is we're on the road to try to get this organized. So we don't have all the answers, but we gotta fill it.
Well, and my comments were just to make your comments public so we could hear where your direction was going to, so that's all. With the next director that's gonna be permanent, okay.
This is my first time hearing about this portion of what Lindy wants to do, and this has been the vision of the Children's Center for quite a while, and we try to implement it, you know, as teachers or whatever. I did, anyway. that's a really exciting takeoff in a direction that we already wanted to go, and I'm really encouraged by that you are the person for us.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you know, when you walk in and you see like the tree stumps in the sand, and I'm like, you know, it's, you definitely have the canvas, and certainly the environment for moving, you know, for keeping in that nature sort of feeling.
Marty?
What grades were your previous school?
It was preschool, 2 to 5.
Okay.
Yes,
And
so
is that
I don't
what
have any
you're-
experience with school-age children, which.
Is that what
I
you're
should-
still shooting for then for this, is preschool basically versus a magnet school or?
Marty, this is preschool and after-school care. We're not elementary.
No, that's fine, I was just wondering if that was still the case.
And I think it's something that you all should, you know, at some point evaluate, you know, is it, you know, do you want to be a preschool, or do you want both parts of the school, you know? But that's, you know, a question for you all to answer later on, I think.
Bill?
Are you gonna need to hire another teacher then?
No, Lindy will need to hire another teacher.
Yeah, you know, I truthfully, in fact, the first thing on my sort of list was to get a cohesive staff. I really don't know, I don't have any privy to exactly who and where and what, so that's like number one, you know, and I think that, you know, we have at least 2 teachers sitting right here, so that, you know, they're invested and they, you know, she's been here forever. Is there somebody else?
Yes, 3 teachers are here today.
Oh, hi. Hi, we haven't met, but, so that really says something about the school, to have, you know, 3 teachers to, you know, come and spend their evening and show support and really be invested in moving forward with the school. And certainly, you know, she's been here for how long did you tell me? 14 years or something, so, yeah.
13, I think.
Yeah, and it's a real compliment to them to have, you know, kept this school going. I mean, school started, you know, and they've really, you know, kept it going, and that's a real testament to them.
I just wanted to make a point, and I think I'm correct, Jenny, you can correct me, but we already needed to hire a teacher because Lindsay had left. She was our preschool teacher, and numbers are down, so they're kind of hanging with the preschool. And so we already needed that other teacher anyway. So.
Right.
Did somebody on the board want to make a motion to accept Lindsay in the proposal that she's made for us?
I'll make that motion that we accept Lindsay Lane Epson as director.
Second.
All in favor?
Right?
Aye. So passed unanimously. Thank you.
I look forward to getting to know you all, and, I don't know, I'll leave this and you can share it, or,
And then we'll just put it in the office.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's great, and then if you want to give me a call, we'll figure
Okay.
out logistics,
Okay,
okay?
great.
Thanks
Thanks,
for
Sarah.
having me, and, hey,
Thank you.
oh, yeah, that's good. If I may pass this around, let me just give you a quick, if I don't mind, an overview. Temple Echelon became the first Nature Explored certified classroom in Orange County, the only one that I know of. And it has certain principles, certain guidelines, and so those are kind of outlined. And then this was like the notebook that I had to send to them to show that, yeah, this is what we're doing, and it's actually happening. And so you'll see different elements of the outdoor environment. So, pleasure. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindy.
Thank you.
Okay, so next item on the agenda is a proposal from Bev. Last year, we authorized, and she bought daffodils and sold them at the county fair, and I think we actually made a tiny profit off of it.
We did.
But she sold out.
I sold them for exactly what I
Is
paid.
it break even?
Yes,
Okay, I don't have a
yeah, we
problem with
sold
that.
out.
Is there a motion to authorize Megan to send a check to Orange County Farm Supply for $460.04?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
That was really nice at the fair last year.
Are we
And I
gonna
didn't
try to
get
make
any.
a profit this year?
Yeah, sell higher.
Thank you.
Talk to Bev.
All in favor, unanimous?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to adjourn the meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
There is a motion to
We're
adjourn.
going to second.
Second.
The meeting's adjourned at 7:23.
Just the
Favor?
first meeting. There's two meetings.
Unanimous vote?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. All right, so give everybody a rest for a second. Let me organize my papers and we'll move on to our big